Thanks for tuning into Duckbricks. I'm Chris, and I just got back from San Diego Comic-Con 2024, the largest comic convention in the world. And of course, LEGO had a gigantic space-themed booth there where they had a ton of brand new sets on display before you're able to actually get them at lego.com and in LEGO stores. One of these sets was the LEGO Legends of Zelda Great Deku Tree 2-in-1 set, which is a really highly anticipated set that so many people are really interested in taking an early look and an in-depth look at, so I figured why not capture as much footage as I could to showcase the minifigures, the build, the interior, and everything that you can do with the set. So let's take a look at this brand new official, very first LEGO Legends of Zelda set. So here is the Great Deku Tree 2-in-1 set, and this is absolutely one of the most interesting LEGO sets that come out in a while, because first of all, it is much larger in person than what you would imagine. I'm gonna be honest, when I first saw the $300 price tag, I thought LEGO was out of their minds, but I think that the official images just didn't quite show how much is packed into here. For 2,500 pieces and releasing on September 1st, 2024, I imagine that most of the pieces were going into the tree, but looking at it top down, I genuinely was pretty surprised to see just how much of the build for the set goes into making this very large base. Now, do I think it could have been a little bit more economical and maybe shrunken the base down and made it a $200 set? Probably, but I still do think that it is pretty well done, and the minifigures, of course, are phenomenal. So of course we have Link and Zelda here, and one thing I really love about the way they've depicted the figures is they've depicted them at different points in their lives to match up with the different games. All of them are wielding different weapons, printed shields, specialized molds, new pieces have been created for these individual pieces and accessories, and I find that to be super interesting, how they literally include multiple different versions of the same character in the one set, just to allow you to depict them at different stages of their lives. Of course, you have the iconic sword which you literally can pull from the stone, which is a really clever build. That sword is a really beautiful dual molded transparent satin opalescent blue element alongside a purple hilt, and easily is one of my top favorite LEGO sword molds ever made. It's just so beautiful and so accurate to the way the actual sword looks in the games. Now the tree itself is really nicely done, but before we take a look at the tree, I do want to spend some time just talking about the general surroundings of the set. You have the triangular shaped stone down here, which is built using really nice studs on the side building techniques. Nothing super fancy going on, but I do like the usage of hinges and all that sorts of pieces to make the triangle itself. And then the trees are utilizing the slightly new LEGO leaf foliage piece introduced for LEGO Friends, and honestly are some of the best looking trees that LEGO has done. LEGO typically, in terms of including trees in sets, they're usually a little hit or miss, but these are actually really nicely done. Now, of course, going on to the main tree, you can see that all around it you have all this foliage. There are little plants and mushrooms and the roots growing at different angles, making it look like they're actually built into the ground itself, which is really nicely done. And all these smaller trees just add a lot of character to the display, showcasing just how large the Deku tree is compared to the smaller ones that are surrounding it. There's a lot of really intricate and really great parts usage here, from car rims and specialized new printed elements. Yes, pretty much every single decal in this element is printed. So all the decals in the sets are their own unique prints. This was really done expertly and really nicely done as well. And of course, there even is a full-on interior, which we can get to in a second. All around there are little Easter eggs to the games. You can see just a little heart-shaped leaf right there with a face on it, another reference to the games, which is super cool. And you even have this side build of kind of a smaller house or hut for Link there, which is a really nice thing. Of course, the tree mainly uses the classic style of LEGO leaf elements as opposed to the newer style that most of these smaller ones use, and the face is really nicely done as well. To be honest, parsing the face is a little bit difficult from certain angles. I will admit, I was starting to think that maybe some of the pieces for the face, like those gray elements holding in the vines, were the eyes, but in fact, if you zoom in, those are just making up the eyebrows of the tree, and the eyes are done using a really clever building technique. Folks in the comments, before I reveal it, can you guess what that part is? Well, It's actually the Butcher's hat from the collectible minifigure series. They were able to use the hat recolored in brown and mounted on its side to actually have the closed eyelid of the tree, which is a really remarkable piece usage. I never would have imagined that they could use that piece for the eye of the tree, but it works so well, and I genuinely was so impressed by how they were able to pull that off. The mouth is really done nicely as well, with the nose at an angle, and there is that piece right there for the eye, which is super cool to be able to actually see as a great parts usage for the set. There is actually a bit of an interior to this set as well, although admittedly, the interior doesn't really have that much going on. I'm going to try to swing around here and get the best camera angle that I can, because obviously there's some new Mario sets in the way as well, but you can see on the back of the tree, you have a really nice kind of creeping vine hanging down there. You've got an apple, as well as a lever to actuate the movement function of the tree to have the mouth actually move. On the inside, there's another exclusive printed 1x2 kind of bread loaf tile introduced in Lego Minecraft. And you can see there's even a little nice bed, a fireplace, and just some little plants and mushrooms scattered throughout the inside of the tree. There's not much there, but it's nice that they did manage to include some amount of detail when it comes to the interior of the tree itself, because overall, I do think that this is just as much of a playset as it is a display set. You can pose your minifigures all around, you can do stuff around the set with the figs and the trees, and I think that's really cool how you actually have that option. Of course, Link's house over here is a really nice and small side build, but I think it works generally okay for me. Pretty much no interior whatsoever. There's like a little plant that he keeps on the edge of the balcony, but otherwise, aside from a very simple bed on the back utilizing just a white tile, there isn't really that much going on, and other than a storage section on the bottom of the house itself. But overall, let's take a look at what I think about this set. The LEGO Legends of Zelda Great Deku Tree, which retails for $300 US. To be honest, after seeing it in person, my sense of value has gone up. I think that when I first saw images, I was incredibly dubious of the value of the set, and I suspected that LEGO was pricing it extremely high because they knew that Zelda fans would be buying this anyway. I gotta say, after seeing it in person, my opinion on it has improved, but only like slightly. I still feel like what I see here is at best a $250, maybe $260 set, especially if you count all the brand new molds like the dual molds for the minifigures and the sword and whatnot. Maybe at max $270, even counting that. $300 is a lot for this, but by official images, I didn't think it was worth it at all, but now I think it's only kinda not worth it, you know, not all the way, and I still do think that this really should be a lot cheaper than it is by at least $30, $40, even $50, but if you are a fan of Legends of Zelda, if you really like what you see, even if you've never played the games and don't know anything about Zelda, this is still a beautiful LEGO set. The building techniques are stunning. I love the way the roots are done, the studs on the side techniques, the angled building techniques for the face. The minifigures are phenomenal. This is truly a standout set, and regardless of whether or not you feel like it's overpriced, just judging on the amount of sheer hype there is online about the set, I wouldn't be surprised if this just does absolutely bonkers well. People will be buying it on day one. I wouldn't be surprised if it even sells out the first day it's available, because this is such a popular set, and just by going off of people talking about it online, I can really see this being one of LEGO's best-selling sets of the year. But of course, those are just my thoughts on this set. Very cool to see it in person, because I feel like that changed a lot of the preconceived notions and assumptions I had about this build. But let me know in the comments, what do you think of the set? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Do you agree with me that even after seeing my full 360-degree coverage, it's still a little overpriced? Or do you feel like $300 is a good price to pay for this model? That's all I have to say about this one. I hope you enjoyed our early look at the LEGO Legends of Zelda Great Deku Tree. I'll talk to you again very soon, and be sure to stay tuned for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way. Bye for now.